we're sharing the top 5 things you didn't know about gluten. Dr. Tom, what's the first thing our audience doesn't know about gluten?
Well, as you did the introduction, this one hit me. I've got to do this one first, and that is a paper just came out that says, should we be nervous about gluten sensitivity? And what it talked about is that people that have headaches as one of their concerns, and seems to be coming from gluten if they see that association, or even if they don't, 36% of those people have white matter lesions in the brain. That's dead brain tissue. And of that group, if the person is still having gluten once in a while, considered once a month is once in a while, every one of them have lesions in the brain. Now, lesions in the brain mean dead tissue. Dead tissue means the connections can't work quite the same, and it's a spiraling down concept.
And these people, they're dealing with headaches and they're popping, different drugs and whatnot, but really all they need to do is take the gluten out of their diet?
That's right. For some of people that have recurrent headaches, not all of them, but for some of them, the culprit is gluten. And we see it regularly when people stop the exposure to the food they're sensitive to, the headaches go away.
Number 2.
Number 2, skin. And the age groups that are really interested in finding out and are more receptive to what I eat may be messing with me seems to be late teenagers, 20-somethings, 30-somethings going into their 40s. They're receptive. And what they don't know, many of them, it's skin. The skin may be the only manifestation of this sensitivity. So it can manifest as acne, it can be cold sores, it can be dry skin, dry lips, much worse, it can be psoriasis, dermatitis, there's lots of technical things, but any skin condition that is not getting better with the treatments that should be making it better, just think about, I wonder if this is gluten that's causing it.
That's amazing, because I remember back in high school, a lot of my friends were dealing with skin issues, but at the same time they're having pizza for lunch every single day.
Boy, that's exactly
right. And they're putting all type of creams and stuff all over their body and wipes and all that stuff. It could have been just a matter of the pizza and the food that they were consuming. Number 3, energy. One of the most common symptom of allergies of any type is fatigue. That's the number 1 symptom. And with gluten sensitivity, it frequently is people are just downed, they're dialed down in their vitality level. And we often hear when you go on a gluten-free diet, within a couple of weeks, you've got juice like you haven't had in years. Brings your energy back. So you don't need a 5-hour energy, you don't need coffee. Your energy can come back by removing gluten from the diet.
That's exactly right.
Very cool. It's such an easy change. We've talked about headaches, talked about skin, we talked about energy. What's number 4?
Well, it kind of goes along with brain function, which the white matter lesions and headaches would be, but that's suicide. Suicide rates are increased in people that have celiac disease, in children.
Do you think there's any connection to malabsorption of like amino acids that make the neurotransmitters in the brain at all?
That's a really good question, and the obvious answer is yes. To any physician who studies the physiology of this, we understand if you don't absorb the nutrients, the amino acids that build your nerve hormones called neurotransmitters, if you don't get the raw material, you're not going to have balanced neurotransmitters.
Right. Number 5,
mortality, increased mortality. With or without a gluten-free diet. First, without. They did a 32-year study following people, and what they found was that those that were vigilant about gluten-free diet, their mortality was half of those that just celiacs in general. Because the celiacs in general, you're 2 times more likely to die early in life of something. It's called the standard mortality ratio. You're 2 times more likely in general for all celiacs of heart disease, cancer, Alzheimer's, something, but earlier in life if you're a celiac. Those that were following and strict about a gluten-free diet, it was half as often instead of twice as often. Because they were taking care of themselves. They were watching what they're eating.
Yeah. And when you say gluten exposure, how much are you talking about?
Oh, man. 1/8 of a thumbnail is all it takes.
1/8 of a thumbnail. That's it.
That's it. So if you order a gluten-free meal and they bring you your salad with croutons on it and you pick the croutons off, you're going to get the exposure. Because there's little crumbs in the greens. You got to get a new salad. You can't have them, and they can't pick off the croutons. You got to get a new salad.
There's so many hidden sources of gluten.
Oh, soy sauce?
Well.
You bet.
It's ridiculous.
There are many.
Wow.
Many.
Thanks so much for the information.